Welcome back to Bishop's Breakdown. This is episode 40. And what a week it was. WWE delivered huge on SummerSlam, and Monday Night Raw tonight has tons of questions to answer. And here in Detroit, we saw one of the hottest offensive stretches by the Detroit Tigers in nearly 30 years, also followed by the biggest trade of the season. So on today's episode, we're going to talk Monday Night Raw from last week, SmackDown recap, SummerSlam review, the Raw preview for tonight, the Skubal trade, and the Tigers' historic offensive stretch. That and much more after the break. Don't just watch Bishop's Breakdown. Be a part of it. Join the Patreon today for exclusive content, early access to every episode, behind-the-scenes footage, bonus podcasts, member-only polls that help shape the show, and exclusive shoutouts. And if you join our $20 MVP tier, you'll score an official Bishop's Breakdown t-shirt. So wear our logo with pride and represent our growing community everywhere you go. Every membership helps us bring bigger guests, better equipment, and even more content to this channel. So hit that Patreon link in the description, become part of the Breakdown family, and let's build something special together. The next level starts now, so deuces, ooses, and back to the show. Don't forget to check out that link in the description. But let's talk about Monday Night Raw. Obviously, that was the go-home show for Monday Night Raw, so we had their final face-off between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, with all their history going back to the Shield. They had to do their thing, little face-to-face, and if you go WWE 101, who stood tall? Seth Rollins. So we'll get to that when we get to the SummerSlam, recap. SmackDown was SmackDown. They do the things that they go home shows used to be real epic, real decisive, but it just seems like they doing paint by numbers and just trying to get to the next PLE to get to the next PLE. But let's talk SummerSlam. Did WWE do enough to make SummerSlam feel like a must watch? Well, night one, not so much. Night two, they must have heard the criticism going into night two on Sunday, because it felt like a different show. There was more wrestling. I mean, maybe not in the first hour or so, but there was more wrestling, more surprises. And to kick off the top of the show, Kevin Owens is back. Didn't think that he was going to be able to, let alone come back or to actually wrestle ever again. And every time he landed on his neck, every time they targeted his neck, I had chilled, because I'm like, one wrong move and he's going to be out again. And I don't want to see, anybody lose their dreams by taking risks that are unneeded. Because Kevin Owens is a godsend for the SmackDown brand, and his feud with CM Punk is going to be something for the ages, because that's what he does. If you remember his feud against Cody Rhodes, when he had the old school title, the replica title, and basically called himself the champion, that was good stuff. Granted, he was hurt for most of it, but you wouldn't even know, because he's a true professional. Or go back to when he had that Stone Cold's clearly his last match at WrestleMania. I'm just saying, Kevin Owens is that guy. And I hope this is a way of giving him the title. And maybe, just maybe, I know people are tired of Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, but for the WWE Championship, I think that's something they both dreamed of when they were riding the roads, going to bingo halls and small indie events that they never thought was possible, that both of them would be facing each other for the WWE Championship. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. Danhausen versus Dirty Dom. How can I like Danhausen. The match was short. The match was sweet. But was it really needed on this card? Could they have done it pre-show? Could they have done it Monday? Could they have done it even Friday? Was it really needed to be, on that card? Like, did it really need to be on SummerSlam at all? I know he's a merchandise maniac, and kids love him, and his merch is going hand over fist. They're getting money from Danhausen. I understand that. But what was solved by Dirty Dom losing once again? Now he looks like a dope, So what are we really doing with Dirty Dom? Is he going to leave when his contract's up? Who knows? Are they doing him justice? Probably not. Should they break up the Judgment Day? Absolutely. Are they? Probably not. Because to another match, Liv versus Io Sky. Good match. Probably one of the best Liv matches I've seen ever. But was it really beneficial for Io Sky to beat her to become queen of the ring, and then she can't beat her to become champion? So what was the even point of giving Io Sky the queen of the ring if this is the outcome? Are y'all waiting for Stephanie? Is Stephanie coming back soon rather than later? I expected when she was walking up the ramp gloating about how she just won that Stephanie's music going to hit, and they're going to but maybe she's not healthy enough to be in that position. And after that's the case, what's really next for Liv Morgan? Is Io going to get another rematch? So, I don't know any other competitors that are on the roster right now on Raw that can challenge Liv Morgan for the World Championship. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. I don't know how they're going to do with that. But good news, bright news. We have a new interim women's world champion, and she's in the form of Chelsea Green. And I was giddy, I was screaming, I was jumping up and down because she deserves it. I thought for a fact, no doubt in my mind, that one or two women in that match was going to win, and Chelsea Green wasn't one of them. He was either going to give it to Tiffany Stratton, hometown girl, or give it to Charlotte Flair. But they did neither of those, and that was a shock, and that was a surprise, and I'm 100% good with it. And like her man said, Matt Cardona says, she's not interim in our eyes. She is the world champion. And yes, I agree. No matter what happens, if Rhea comes back and destroys her in 18 seconds, she will always be known as a world champion. And nobody can take it away from her. And she deserved every second of that. And then let's talk about main event on night one, the Oba Femi Brock Lesnar Hell in a Cell match. Obviously, they have good chemistry together. Obviously, the right person won in Oba. Obviously, Brock shook his hand and passed the torch to the next big thing in Oba. Yes, it was a great main event, and I'm glad it closed out the show. But what was different between having that match or having a street fight or a no disqualification or whatever you want to call it, a Minnesota brawl, whatever, a Viking hooligans, Lollapalooza, whatever, because they did not utilize the cage at all. So what was the real point of having a Hell in a Cell? Just for the optics? Just for a look to be destructive, and they can use all these video packages and show the history of the Hell in a Cell, because they didn't get out of the cage. They didn't get on top of the cage. They didn't really use the cage as a weapon like most Hell in a Cell matches. So what was the point of having it's not like they were keeping people out because there was nobody involved besides Brock and Oba. It's not like Paul Heyman was going to get in there and throw fisticuffs with Oba Femi. So what are we really doing? What was the point of that? I wish they would give us an answer, because it was pointless. And let's talk about the World Heavyweight Championship match. My boy, Mr. RKO himself, is back. And he came and destroyed Cody Rhodes' hopes and dreams. Ref gets a bump. Cody Rhodes gives a crossroads. CM Punk rolls out of the ring from the momentum, and all of a sudden, the Snake himself slithered in, turned him around, dropped him with an RKO. CM Punk rolls back in the ring. GTS 1, 2, 3, and still World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk. Right decision, and I am looking forward to this feud getting better because now they're not cuffed by main event status. They're not cuffed by titles. It's just history, teacher, pupil, Orton, Cody. Boom. Maybe it will get into Randy Orton finally winning his 15th title, and maybe they'll use it to get number one contendership. But hopefully, as of right now, for the foreseeable future, Cody Rhodes should not be in the main event title picture, and let other people migrate to there, and then he comes back, retool, I mean, hey, heck, dye your hair back to black, where the mask again come out as Dashing Cody Rhodes. I'll be okay with that. So anything they can do to change up the main event scene, I'm all for it, because there's tons of talented wrestlers on that roster that could, with the right, optics, with the right, whatever behind them, with the machine behind them, they can become something more. They can become the next big thing, or up to the echelon of main event status, and you can have fresh and better matchups than you could ever want to. Because if you look at who was wrestling for titles this weekend, both matches, you got Roman, Seth, over 40. You got Cody, CM Punk, over 40. So sooner or later, they can't wrestle anymore. They might not want to wrestle past 45 or 50. And then what are you going to do? You haven't built anybody up, so now you're going to have emptiness and just throw people in there and then hope for the best? Now you're going to blink your eyes and Logan Paul is WWE champion. Because they got nobody they've built up, so they just have to figure it out on the fly, and they know the time is coming. So this is the time that they need to go do their thing and build people up for the future, and not depend on the older talent to push the show forward, because sooner or later you're going to have to put these young guns into these main event matches, into these main event pay-per-views or PLEs, but not to be sour, but not to forget. But congratulations, Chad Gable, on winning your first solo singles title in WWE after 10 plus years of garbage they have fed to you. I mean, if you don't remember, but they had him coming out as Shorty G. And I've heard him talk about it, how terrible it was, but he took it with stride, because he wasn't going to be the reason why it wasn't going to work out. They were going to be the reason, not him. And he put everything he had into this thing. And now he is the new Intercontinental Champion. And that match was a banger. And Penta was a good champion, but the right person won. And Chad Gable, thumbs up. Congratulations. Hats off to you, sir, because you deserve every second of it. And I can't wait to see your title reign. Hopefully it's a long one, but no matter what, they can't take this title win away from you, no matter what. Let's see what else. Baron Corbin wins the U.S. title. Sure. I don't know what more I could say about this. I mean, I like Baron Corbin. I like him. I like Trick. But why give him the furry, fuzzy, mink or whatever the heck is made out of new title, just take it away from him and give it to Baron Corbin? So sure, it was a shocker. It was something I didn't see coming, but after it happened, I was like, duh. He comes back. I mean, maybe this also, but this could be a good thing though. This might be a way that, because you know what's coming up soon, Money in the Bank. Watch out for Trick Williams to qualify for that ladder match and become Money in the Bank winner and cash in on CM Punk or cash in on Roman Reigns, but that's probably not going to happen. So CM Punk, watch your back. Or Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens might have the title by then. And last but not least, let's talk about the main event of night 2. You had Roman Reigns defending his World Heavyweight Champion against former Shield brother in the Seth freaking Rollins. That match, pure cinema, peak, no interference, no shenanigans, no, slip on a banana peel, roll-ups. It was a barn burner, near falls, something that these two competitors just went all out on, as if this might be the last matchup against each other ever. They might never have another match between the two, and they put it all on the line. They wrestled like this was their last match together. And at the end, Roman finally conquered his hatred, the elephant in the room, the knife in his back from Seth Rollins all those years ago when he turned on them and destroyed the Shield. They went in the middle of the ring. Seth had a mask on from his entrance from the Shield days, put it in the middle, and they did their fist and the Shield back together, and they were not really back together, but they were, for one night, they were on the same page, and they mutual respect for each other, and they can move on to other directions. And in the middle, they put the mask there to I think, to signal Dean Ambrose, because clearly there was no way, not in a million years, that Dean Ambrose, a.k.a. Jon Moxley of AEW, was going to appear on this show. I guarantee if they could, he would have came out, but I'm glad they couldn't, because then it would have mucked it up. But maybe it would have been cool if he came out for the end and they all did their Shield thing, hugged or whatever. That would have been cool. But clearly, Tony Khan was not going to let that happen. And I don't even know if Jon Moxley wants to be anywhere near this company. After all the things he said, his wife's over in AEW. I mean, I don't know why he would want to be back the way they treated him. So, but it's a different company than when he left, kind of like how CM Punk. So never say never, but I have 98% sure that he's never going to be in WWE ever again. Crowd reactions seem kind of meh. The match qualities were good. I mean, some of the matches were really good. Some of the matches were, the tag team match with the Usos and Jacob Fatu and LA Knight, yeah, and Solo Sikoa and Royce Keys. It was a tag match. Solo is really good at being a babyface. He seems likable, more personality than he's ever had or ever been able to show. I mean, there was one spot where Jay's on the ground, Solo's in the ring, and he looks at the crowd and does and he was yeeting it, and Jay was losing it. And then he even had Wade Barrett doing this thing, everything. That was funny. That's the comedy I like. Little things. I don't need over the top comedy. I want storytelling comedy. Like a good comedy is not something that they beat your head over with and say, "Hey, this is supposed to be funny. Laugh." That's not what we do. So, but yeah, the things I didn't really like. The Danhausen match. It was what it got accomplished. What are you going to do moving forward with anybody that was involved in that match? Joe Hendry comes out and helps even the score. You had the Minniehausens. You had JD beating the crap out of the Minniehausen because they're about the same size, and Dirty Dom trying to get the human monies from a pole. Vince Russo, were you in the back? Did you make that match? I see you, but I don't know what more they're gonna do with this whole thing. It's going to lead to a tag match on Raw tonight. Joe Hendry, Danhausen versus JD and Dirty Dom. Sure. But what's that going to accomplish? Like, what's step 2? I mean, I know AAA is the Mexican promotion. I know what it is, luchas and all that. And he's the world champion down there, and he looks like a dope. He goes down there and dominant. Because Undertaker knows something about wrestling, and he's doing bigger, better things. Like he is a force to be reckoned with. And he comes up here and he loses to Sparklers. And then he falls down and Human Monies. Like, it just disappointed me. So I give night 1 a B- and night 2 an A. So overall, if you add it up, you get a B+. B+ for the SummerSlams. And but we got some lights to keep on and some bills to pay. So after the break, we're going to talk Tigers and that trade that sent Skubal to the Dodgers. So that's after the break. This episode is brought to you by W Energy, the clean energy drink mix built for gamers, creators, and grinders like us. No jitters, no crash, no artificial dyes, just smooth, long-lasting focus whenever I'm breaking down WWE storylines, debating NBA, or just recording late at night. It's zero sugars, packed with vitamins and nutrients, and it actually keeps you locked in without the shaky feeling. Head to w.gg and use code Bishop's Breakdown at checkout and save 10%. So level up your energy and let's get back to the breakdown. And thanks for supporting the show. Don't forget to check out that W Energy. Good stuff. So before we move on to the Tigers and the MLB, tonight on Raw, who do you think is Roman Reigns' next challenger for his World Heavyweight Championship? Because obviously it's not going to be Seth Rollins again. And hopefully they'll do some celebration for Chad Gable. I know they gave him one with that mascot from the mug root beer, and it was dumb. And then, so hopefully we'll get some of that. I think there's going to be, we already know one surprise return, and it's Big Cass. Not sure if he's coming with Enzo or not, or he coming solo. If he comes solo, maybe he do one of two things. He either is going to interfere in the Chad Gable celebration, and that is his next competitor challenger for the Intercontinental Championship, or Roman comes out and acknowledge blah, 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 and Big Cass comes out of that. That is something that's bold and way out there that I don't want to see, but it wouldn't surprise me if that's what they'll do to feed Big Cass day one to the OTC to lose, because they like to do stupid things like that. But I'm hoping that if he comes out alone, he decides to challenge Chad Gable for his Intercontinental Championship. Or if he doesn't come out alone, if Enzo is in fact with them, they do their little shtick, the Vision for the tag team championships. But the way the vignettes were going, he seems to be a solo act, so I'm hoping that he comes out and then, talks to Chad Gable and starts that program. Because I think that'd be kind of cool. I like Big Cass. I watched him when he went to AEW, and they didn't have much for him to do either. They didn't know what to do. They don't really know what to do with big talent, like big guys or whatever. Because after a while, they forget that they're just big giants, and they treat them like they're not big guys. And it is what it is. So I'm looking forward to tonight's Raw, and I'm sure Big Cass will vindicate his the way things ended last time he was in WWE, and hopefully they'll give him the opportunities to show that he is better than what he was before and when they let him go. that all the stuff that he learned from being on the Indies, being on AEW, being around another promotion, I think that he has a chance to show that he is better than they thought he was. So let's move on to the elephant in the room again. Tarik Skubal, formerly of the Detroit Tigers, the former two-time Cy Young winner, has been traded. Yes, traded to the LA Dodgers. I mean, it's emotional. I mean, he's the best pitcher, one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, not just the AL or the NL, but all of baseball. And was it right? Was it a right move for them? Probably, because he was going to leave regardless. The money that he wanted, the money that he deserves, I don't know if the Tigers were going to give it to him, and his free agency was approaching. So they look at it like most teams do, is maximize their return, rebuild for the future, and get something for him. If they let him go free agency, they get nothing and be left with an empty bag. At the very least, they got some prospects, they get some, other people, but no matter what, it's hard to replace a Cy Young caliber ace. I mean, it's just like replacing a LeBron James or a Kobe Bryant or a Michael Jordan. And it's tough for the fans. They just see, oh, you got rid of Skubal for people I don't even know. And it could hurt their short-term competitiveness, but in all reality, because I'm a Detroit sports fan, in all reality, the Tigers weren't winning the World Series this year. I mean, they're fighting to even just get into the playoffs, and so the future is looking for the future for next season and the season after that. And without Skubal in their future plans, that they had to do something now. They had to do something today before they lost him and with nothing. So it's good for both teams, but the Dodgers are looking on paper stacked. But before we get to the Dodgers and how this affects them, the Tigers had an historic week. Here's something to bite your teeth on. Detroit became the first Tigers team since 1996 to score at least 8 runs in 5 consecutive games. Yeah, 5 consecutive games. And their offense is finally clicking. You got young superstars, young hitters producing in a time that they with all this trade rumors happening and the trade finally happening, but now the team is confident with each other and know that they can put up runs when they have to. It's just the only problem is, can they stop people? Can their pitching, can their bullpen keep up and hold teams so their offense can continue to roll? But this is kind of crazy compared to the streak that the 1996 Tigers had. Same. Here or there, 14 runs, 12 runs, 10 runs, 13 runs, and 8 runs. It's crazy that during that 5-game stretch, which happened to be in 1996 from July 28th, just like this year's Tigers, to August 2nd, just like this year's Tigers. But hopefully they won't do what the 1996 Tigers did and finish the season, here we go, 53 and 109. We don't want to lose 100 games. They're not going to win 100 games, but if they keep this momentum going, but the problem is, can they? Can they keep scoring and their pitching staff and their defense keep their opponents with no runs or, a little bit of runs? Like, do they have what it takes to do that? Like I said earlier, they're not going to win the World Series. No matter what. In my mind, they're not winning the World Series. I hate to say it, but if you look at their roster, especially getting rid of Skubal, with Skubal, they had a drunk boxer's chance, of winning, to get into the playoffs, to going deep in the playoffs and being something scary for, another team in a series. But without Skubal, I don't know. I don't know if they have enough starting pitch, because that's where you need the pitching the most in the playoffs, because you're playing against top tier offenses day in, day out, in a 7-game series or a 5-game series or whatever it may be. So I don't think they have enough to get to the World Series status, but I think no team wants to play them in the playoffs. So if they can get to the playoffs, they're going to cause some headaches for a lot of teams. And whatever happens, but I think they're looking toward the future, and I think the future looks bright for the Detroit Tigers. So 2 or 3 years, they might be a different tune. They might be in the World Series again. And the Dodgers, on paper, they should win their third World Series and back to back with that pitching staff. If Skubal pitches anywhere near like 85% the way he was pitching this year, who's hitting him? Who's hitting against him? Not too many teams. You still got Ohtani. You still got Freeman. You still got Mookie Betts. You still got Page. Yamamoto's still an ace. Like they're like I said, on paper, the Dodgers should win the World Series. Maybe not automatically, maybe not. They're not going to sweep every team. But I don't see, as of right now, if everything keeps going the way it's been going and Skubal goes in and picks up right where he left off when he got traded by Detroit, there's no doubt in my mind that at the very least the LA Dodgers will be in the World Series, will be competing for a third world championship. And whatever happens, and the rest might be history, because we might be seeing history. We might be seeing a three-peat. And that's crazy that the Dodgers got a chance to get Skubal and didn't have to give up much. And all they did was rebuild their starting pitching and just got better. It went from mid-tier to top tier in a matter of seconds. And that's their prerogative, and they doing what they have to do to win championships. The Yankees did it in the 90s. So now it's the LA Dodgers time to be a dynasty. And they got the best baseball player on the planet. So what more can I say about the LA Dodgers? But this is going to be interesting October. That's for sure. Like I can't wait for this October. But here's my final thoughts on WWE. If they need to keep having wrestling matches, and focus on wrestling, because that's what is in your name of who you are. You're pro wrestling. I know as much as they want to be wrestling entertainment or sports entertainment, but first and foremost, you're pro wrestling, and pro wrestling matches need to be priority. Ads, not so much. Because if you give good matches, you're going to get the people that want to see it and want to buy all these tickets, want to buy this Club WWE for $99 a year that don't give you nothing more than what you already have access to. But now people are willing to spend that money because you give them a better product. But if you just give them, 2-3 minute matches and 40 minutes of commercials, people are going to be really angry about that. And that's not fair. And TKO needs to look themselves in the mirror and look at the numbers and see what they need to do to give a good balance. Because a good balance is what people tune into the show to see wrestling, and then ads as an underthought. But now it's ads wrestling. So they need to figure out what they need to do going forward. And the Tigers, they'll be all right. Like I said, they're looking for the future. They're looking towards the future. And future is bright, and Skubal might be a world champion this time next year. And the Dodgers might be a 3-time, like Ohtani got 3 rings. So, but my prediction is the Tigers are going to keep up the offensive craziness, but I think that they're going to miss Skubal, and it's going to show sooner rather than later. So, what was your favorite SummerSlam match? Sound off in the comments. And was Tarik Skubal trading him the right move? You know what to do. Let me know. And can the Tigers get into the playoffs? And did the trade guarantee that the Dodgers are going to get a three-peat? And last but not least, who should challenge Roman Reigns next? So don't forget to subscribe. Leave a 5-star review if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Follow Bishop's Breakdown. It's at Bishop's Breakdown on TikTok, on X, Facebook, all the things for your weekly coverage of WWE, NFL, Major League Baseball, and much, much more. So, like a great man once said, deuces, oozes, and I'm out.